Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. I want you to think about this for a second. Are you feeling like kind of lethargic, kind of stuck? You're not moving, just like, you really don't know what it is. Not like you're sick or anything. Trying to put your finger on it, but you're not really sure. And then you wonder, am I the only one? Well, you're not the only one. There's an energy shift going on in our universe, and we're going to learn more about that. Apparently, it happens kind of frequently where we get stuck. And she is somebody that offers energy healing, has so much insight. She's also a psychic medium. She's our professional of the year. It's great to have her back here. Alisha B is on the program with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. So the energy shift. Now, I've heard that term before.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way I described it, I've heard it described before. And I can relate to it. Like, things are good, but something feels off. And then you think it's you, well, maybe I'm not getting enough sleep or whatever. You try to rationalize it, or go with this one, depending on where you live. Well, it's the winter, it's the winter blues, maybe seasonal affect disorder or whatever it might be. But apparently not so much. What is this energy shift we talk about?
So energy shift, can be a whole bunch of things, but we're going to talk about the big ones occurring now that I'm sure for me, a lot of people that I work with in this field have felt a sense of unmotivation. So we were super motivated, and then suddenly it was like hitting a wall. You feel tired. You just don't have the clarity of mind. And that's been recent with the planetary alignment. And I know that sounds weird to people, but when you think about it, the reason we stay on the planet is energy. Gravity is energy. That's an energetic field. And so now we're moving bigger bodies of energy into our field. And so we're being affected by that change. And it can cause a host of emotional roller coasters and just exhaustion for pretty much everybody. Because if you think about it, everybody's empathic, whether they want to say they are or not. But when you go into a situation and you start feeling overwhelmed, or you start feeling emotions that you didn't walk in with, that's that energy field you're interacting with. So now we're doing it on a universal scale, which makes it so much heavier and more to kind of wade through.
So these energy shifts do happen in life, but what I'm detecting from you, this one is more impactful because I don't know if I heard this right, but the planetary alignment. Now, if you pay attention in the last couple of weeks, the planets have been lined up very kind of in a weird, fascinating kind of way. If you look up in the clear winter sky, it's like along a row. This is like in January, a couple of weeks ago, whatever it might be. Does that have something to do with it?
Yes, definitely. I know most people have heard of Mercury retrograde energy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's where you just go to that blah. Well, when you put all of them in the sky at once, some are in retrograde, some are not, they're all in a different energy vector, energy frequency, and we're kind of just throwing it into the mix. It's not to say it's good or bad, it's a movement forward. We're starting to close chapters in our history. We're starting to move forward as humanity and universally. And so the energy alignment, we're feeling that physically.
I'm just going to go home and get in bed and pull the covers up. I don't know.
Just sleep it off. It's okay.
Yeah. How long is that going to take?
Ugh, I couldn't even tell you when the end is in sight on that one.
Wow. Lots of questions here. Would it be safe to assume at this point in time, it's almost as if we're in the middle of an energy tornado and we get bounced all over the place?
Yes, an energy tornado, one with the alignment, but then as a collective, humanity as a collective is ascending in this time. And what that means is we're going from a low vibration, a vibration of fear-based emotions. And you can see it when you look at humanity. We're starting to elevate each other. we're opening our minds, we're accepting things, we're challenging what we're told we have to follow because it's not resonating with us anymore. And those are ascending symptoms. So we're ascending humanity. And as we go through that, we are going to feel the bumps on the road, which I believe our second or third session or podcast episode, we talked about the bumps in the road this year. And that is to do with energy alignment and how we have to work through it to bring humanity to a higher level.
Let's focus on different aspects of life as it relates to this energy shift. You know what? Even before we get there, preface that with what's going on now. You don't know when it's going to end. Nobody really knows when it's going to finish up. When did it approximately start? And in your opinion, scale of 1 to 10, and these things, there's been shifts before, 10 being, whoa, hold on, this one's really crazy. Where would you put it?
So for the first question, when did it start? For me personally, I started feeling it, I would say in like August, September of last year of 2024. We started feeling the changes, the wax and wane of the energy. It became more prominent than it was before. And now it's like we're feeling it. There's no getting away from the feeling of that energy. As far as putting it on a scale, for me, this would be my 10. And that's only because I haven't felt an energy higher than this, a shift higher than this that I'm aware of. There may be someone that has more experience, more years, and they have felt something similar to before, and this wouldn't be a 10 for them. But for me, what my experience, I would say this is the highest I've ever felt the energy.
Whoa. Let's look at it in different situations. Relationships. Let's just go right there. That's our topic for this moment as it relates to this energy shift. What can we expect? What have you been seeing? What might we be feeling? All of that.
I would say expect challenges to arise that are going to make you assess yourself and yourself in that relationship. We have talked about this before, how we build those common connections, those comfort connections, and we hold on to them even if they're not the best for us. Expect that to be challenged in this energy. They're going to challenge whether you want to hold on to a lower vibrational connection of any sort, or if you want to elevate yourself. So it's a really big scale of shadow work for humanity. We're all going to have to ask ourselves those hard questions, deep dive.
Is this also a time where it's time for relationship housekeeping?
Yes.
Where, I'm cleaning up. That doesn't support me. I was hanging on to that. All of a sudden, I'm hypothetical here. Partly. Where you just say, why am I doing that for? I'm moving on. That relationship maybe doesn't support me. And I'm not talking just romantic. Could be just people. Or will you start seeing situations and people in your circles in a different way? Like, I never realized that about them. And that doesn't really align with me. I don't know. Yeah. Why didn't I see that? Is that making sense? That kind of thing?
You're on the 100% hitting the nail on the head. You're going to see that happen. And it's going to be something that makes you question, like, how did I not notice that before? Because you weren't ready to see it. You weren't in a place to let go of that. And so now, basically, this energy is saying you have to make a decision. We're going to put it to the front, and you're going to have to start working on this because humanity is elevating, and you can choose to go with or kind of stay stuck. And they're going to bring that around, and you're going to look at people and be like, wow, but we got along so well for 5 years, 10 years. And now this has always been there, and I just never noticed. And that's so you can recognize those relationships that don't serve you.
Yeah. It's either you're going to see them in a different light, or you're going to see yourself in a different light where, no, I expect more. I've got more to offer. There's more of me. They're still the same. That's a different scenario. They're still the same. If you're not seeing them in a different light, so to speak. You're seeing yourself in a different light, and then you look at them through a different lens, this ascension lens, where
Yes.
it's a little different now. And you know what? I want to move here, and they're kind of over here. And let's go back a year or two. We were both kind of here, and it was kind of working. It was working,
Hmm.
but now it doesn't feel like it is.
Yes. That's exactly how it works. It's more, and you hit it 100%. It's more about you. So it's the internal work that universe is saying, pay attention to you. You need to figure out yourself. You need to figure out your soul. And it's not always the other person changing, which we like to say, oh, they changed, it's them. No, those are moments you need to look at you and say, okay, what changed about me?
Mm,
Why did that change? What is it taking me to? Where am I going from that shift in myself?
wow,
Hmm.
interesting. Um, what about what about success? Let's say somebody's in a job situation. Maybe they want to start a business. They got things floating out there, side hustles, wondering if maybe they should pivot from one job to another. Would this be the time to do it or not? And the reason I even say that is you mentioned Mercury retrograde before. It's always been said, do not start something new, especially a new endeavor, especially a new job until the retrograde is over. I guess the beauty of the retrograde is we know it's going to be over. This thing we don't really know. So, um, with an eye on success or moving your life more professionally forward, what are your thoughts during this period?
Make sure you first figure out what makes you what gives you the most passion, what fulfills you the most before making the decision to cut anything. I don't ever say, oh, get rid of all your jobs and go do this, because it has to resonate with you. It has to fulfill you. And as you do that, you're going to elevate. So it's not if you have multiple ventures going on, sit down with yourself and figure out what connects to you the most. It's not about, oh, this one brings, 10K more a year. But when I go to that, I feel like I'm beat down. I feel heavy. It makes me sick. I have to recover long. That's not resonating with you. So that's something you need to tell yourself is okay to let go, because when you do that and you release that, which doesn't vibe, you move to the whatever career or choice it is that does bring you passion and bring you happiness. And you'll see the increase in the finances in that aspect without going to hurt yourself and like making yourself feel like crap all the time.
I'm going to try and use an analogy and see if I can put this together. But based on what we're talking about, it sounds like you need to make the right choices to nourish your soul with what you need. And picture this,
Yes.
you're a marathon runner and you want to get here, you know, finish line and
Hmm.
finish really good and then continue to the next race and the next race. And you need to nourish yourself with the right stuff. So you need to make those right choices. And it's not just about the money. You need to, again, feel a certain way.
Hmm.
But once you nourish yourself with those choices that support you, you're going to run further, you're going to run faster, and in the end, you will make more money.
You'll make more money, and spirit will always be there to take care of you. They will always show up. So as you make that transition and you align more with yourself, your higher purpose in yourself, spirit will always show up and make sure your bills are paid. They'll make sure you have food on the I'm sorry, table and a roof over your head. Because you are aligning higher, abundance comes in all forms that abundance can come. So
Mm,
maybe not monetarily money,
yep.
but you will be taken care of and have all of your needs met. Mhm.
You just opened the door to different areas where at the right time that we need to talk about. So, spiritualism. What should you be doing during this kind of wonky, energetic period? Talking to your spirit guides, uh, meditating. What do we do?
Ask yourself the hard questions. That's going to get you started. And how I did that was rhetorically. I know a lot of practitioners are saying, specific, be specific. I do a retort because I felt I got more guidance and understanding. So I asked, what is my purpose? What aligns with my highest, uh, I'm sorry, I lost my word, my highest purpose, my highest timeline? What aligns with that? And that's when I was really shown and really connected with what they showed me. So in this moment, spiritually, meditation is great. If you can't meditate, and that's not sit down, you don't have to go through
Yeah.
crossing your legs and you don't have to do that.
Mhm.
Meditation is about, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but
It's
yeah.
not, but it's not the only way you can do it. When you take that time, a great place to meditate, because we all do it in a bath or a shower. That is your alone time with
Oh
you.
my gosh, I can't believe you said
Let
that.
it happen.
I I run into the shower. I'm a minute. Phew, done. And a couple of times in the last 2 weeks or whatever, had the water going. It was warm. It felt good. I had some time, and I just closed my eyes, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, and just started like deep thinking, and it was just a weird kind of moment, I guess.
Mhm.
I was asking for answers, and that said, should you ask for the information? For example, and I believe we don't know how to do this, so we don't do it. I feel that many of us we're cool with it, but we don't know how. Same thing if when it comes to religion. Sometimes somebody might say, "All right, I pray. Yeah, I believe in a God. I don't know how to pray. Like, what do I
Mhm.
do?" We're so in this society programmed. GPS. Beep, press the button. It tells me how to
Yes.
get there. Done. Finished. Um, Simple steps. Bam, bam, bam. Done. Amazon World. Press the button. It takes me steps through, and 3 p.m. it arrives. I feel we
Mhm.
don't know how. So you want to know what your higher purpose is. You want to know what is going to support you. I'm getting from you that we should ask our spirit guides. What do we do that? In a meditation. And again, we establish it's not about just sitting there with your legs crossed. You could be just going for a walk and just thinking, go into nature, whatever it might be.
Yes.
What do we do from that point?
So from that point, that is speaking with your spirit team 100%. I will say that. You're going to start getting that either gut feeling, or maybe you're going to have a thought suddenly pop in that gives you one direction or the other. A lot of people, when they think that thought pops in, it's them thinking about it. If you ask the question and let your mind go, and then it goes to one of those options you gave, that is your team trying to communicate. So acknowledge it, say thank you. If that's what I'm supposed to do, give me another sign. So you follow it up to make sure, okay, I need to confirm that I know this is what you said, but let me confirm it, just in case it was my head. But that random thought that we like to just suppress and say, that was me, that is your spirit team giving you information and guidance.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yes.
It's as simple as and I believe you said it, and I've heard it said before that they're not just going to show up. Yeah, you know what, Alicia, I'm your spirit guide. We're all here. We're going to take care of you right now. Silver platter, there it goes. You're all good.
Hmm.
You need to ask.
You need to ask. You have to talk to them. They, first of all, your angels cannot interact with you unless you ask your angels to step forward and interact. If you ask them for assistance, and your guides are always trying to talk to you. And we just, like I said, it's that voice, it's that feeling, it's the idiosyncrasies of life that are pointed out, and you're like, whoa, those are messages. That's your guides talking to you. So just be spiritually aware, not vigilant, not like you're on guard, but just keep an open mind and look out for those signs.
Yeah, almost as if, why did I just think that?
Hmm.
Why did that pop in my head? But I love what you said because I believe we're all skeptical to validate it. I just got something. Give me another one. Let me back that up. But herein lies, I guess, the most important thing. Trust it. Trust
Yes.
the process. Trust
Hmm.
in yourself. Have faith that the universe, whatever the universe is in your mind, has your back. It doesn't,
Yes.
my belief here is we're not here to be miserable.
No, we're not.
Why? It wouldn't be. Why did we show up? No, no. If you do the right thing will come your way,
Yes.
in way of the universe. So I guess a deeper question coming now. This whole situation that's going on here, the energy
Mhm.
shift, has this something to do with what I've heard and others have heard, the age of Aquarius and the move to a higher dimension, be it the fourth or the fifth dimension. Is that all part of this?
That would be the ascending of humanity. It is all tied together. Yes, it's all the same.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You last month, I believe, said that you had some premonitions, and no, we can go back. I can find it. We can play it again. And I believe you said you had it late last year, maybe in the fall, of
Hmm.
just things that you think are coming our way universally in 2025. Do you remember what they were?
The main thing I talked about were geographical changes to occur. There were other things that I did get, but I didn't really understand. So I'm still trying to zone or hone back in on that and get some more guidance and understanding on it. But geographical changes were the big thing. Fault lines were going to be active and more quiet fault lines, quiet volcanoes were going to become active and reignite. And we're seeing a lot of that. I got that probably back in October of last year. And then we just slowly saw an increase of earthquakes, slowly saw an increase of volcano activation. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, so this is what they were showing me.
I wanted you to say that because I remember you saying that, and it's in the back of my head. But there was just a minor earthquake in Maine up that way.
Mhm.
There is also talk about a dormant volcano, I believe in the Pacific, but I'm not really sure, that could erupt this year.
Mm.
And this is before you said these things before I heard of any of this. So
Yes.
I'm hoping I'm hoping you're not totally right here, you know, or if it's going to be a little tremor, it's not going to be very impactful. But why do you think that's happening? Why do you think there's geographic stuff going on? Why are you feeling that?
I feel it goes along with our ascension. As we as a species elevate, the earth is going to go through changes and we're kind of meshing and meeting vibrations between us and earth. And as we do that, there'll be physical shifts within our environment. And so I feel like it all just goes together. It's almost like being proven or giving validation that we are ascending, we are elevating as humanity.
Wow. Lots to process here, but exciting.
It's
Exciting.
good. It's a very exciting year.
If you look at it that way, or you can look at it as everything's all messed up. I don't know what's going on here. I'm feeling from what you've said that we should seize the opportunity because it's in our best interest. Like, relationships are everything. Weeding out the things that don't work,
Mhm.
um, understanding the direction that we're going, and trusting what you're getting because it's being given to you.
Yes. And a little just general pearl of wisdom as you're going through your day and you're seeing things on the news or you're hearing things that are changing within the world, across all the countries. When it comes up and you get frustrated, ask yourself, why is that frustrating you? Ask yourself in your guides, how does this serve humanity? In what way is this changing us for a positive? That way you're starting to take control of that energy instead of letting that energy control you. So this is a very tumultuous time happening right now, this first year or month of the year, and a lot of emotions are out there. Ask yourself how it's going to help. Ask yourself what it's going to do.
Mm. And again, trust what you get.
Yes.
That's I think that's the most important thing. I'm getting better at that, but you know, this gets in the way. Your mind, your head gets in the way.
It
Um,
does.
this is just a piece of what you offer, and you got a lot going on. How do we connect directly to you? Let's say somebody is trying to figure this all out, wants to get more spiritual, needs some energy healing, or needs some insight. What do they do?
Best place to find me is insightpsychics.com/Alisha. You can text me or leave me a voicemail at 256-469-8111. And then I also would just like to say we are adding classes and events to Insight Psychics as a whole, but I am also going to be offering classes myself on there. So go check me out, insightpsychics.com/Alisha.
All part of the journey, all part of the ascension. And I just want to say, I appreciate everything that you offer. And I've seen it in action during these, and even offline, we've talked about your insight. You have such a way of providing that insight, information, answers in a clear, concise way.
Thank you.
That's your superpower.
Thank you for that.
It is so crystal clear. You get right to the point. I don't feel like, what did she just say? Like it's all, what's that? Whoa, what's going on there? Very clear. And
that's from the best piece of advice I got while I was in the military. Knowledge is only power when it can be shared. If I can't share with you, there is no power in what I know.
And you can't share it if you don't I don't mean you, but in general, if you don't communicate it clearly.
Exactly.
And if you belabor the point, then people are like, you lose them. You get right to it. And it's fantastic. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll catch up soon. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.